here we are, back again. Another week, another live stream. I am Justin, the Zilla. Welcome. It is Friday the 13th. I didn't even really realize that or connect to that up until like yesterday when I saw that, and I was like, damn, it's Friday the 13th. But welcome, everyone. Excuse me while I adjust my chair, my seat. Okay, but we're here. We're doing our thing. Been a week. Been off of work past few days. I won't say. I can't say really, but stuff's been going down here in the States. Been a lot of fun. Weird stuff going on. If we indulge, we indulge, but the world's falling apart still, as always, but we're here. The continuing thing. Hopefully I'll be around to continue it. I know that's dark already. I'm starting off, but welcome back. Updates. Nothing very much. Hung out with buds earlier this week. A lot of fun. Needed it. Well needed. Well timed stuff going on, but we're here. We're talking toys as usual every Friday, every week. No update on the wall as it is. Looks great. Looks fine for now. Do want to show off one thing off of last week's Death's Head thing. I was trying to like figure out okay. Yeah, because I like the box a lot. I forget what I said last week. I probably said that I usually when it comes to a lot of boxes, I'll just break them down and I'll keep them, like I'll have them flat and then maybe keep the background. I was trying to kind of figure out what to do with this Death's Head figure, and decided to actually do this, which I haven't really done that much, but I went with just using the actual box to display him in, because he has that cool kind of back there with all that. It's probably hard to see, but with all that background there, all that wasteland thing on here. Of course, it looks better in person. Oh, and he is just loosely sitting in there, but he looks great and he fits well. So I think it kind of works for what they're going with being the card version. Of course, of course the bottom, the bottom of my box is the part I opened up, but it's not really heavy enough to get in there, even if he is a big figure. Even if I do this, I mean, it's still staying pretty secure. Pretty secure. But yeah, he looks great in here. Love this whole setup. So probably, I assume they're going to keep going with this line as probably an exclusive version. So probably him and the Super Scroll will probably stay like this. Maybe not the Super Scroll. Maybe I'll get like 2 of those then. One to keep on the shelf, but this is how I have the Death's Head. He's going to be displayed like this. I really want to put him on the wall. I don't know if he'll go up here, but I'll have to figure out a way, because of course he doesn't have has any hook or any way to do it, and I don't want to put it on the actual box. I don't want to damage my thing. So maybe like a little a clear shelf or something, or just a white shelf at some point. Maybe I'll put that up, but nice little display piece. Add-on thing, something unique for Death's Head, and looks pretty cool. I don't know if anyone else has done this or not in the community, but there's something. So if y'all like it, do it to yours. And if you kept the box, do it. Or want to do it later on, go buy another Death's Head. I mean, this figure is pretty amazing, despite the non-pinless and the double joints, but whatever. Get picky, I guess. But then we do have a bit of pickup updates, a lot of weekly pickups as usual. One of my favorite segments. And we have a bit. We have a pretty good haul. I was on Wednesday, was sent home early from work, and I was like, all right, I'm going hunting. I'm going shopping around, seeing what's going down with the whole thing. Is my live chat working? It is. But yeah. So first, went to Walmart, Went to there to look around for figures, and they had this guy on sale down to like 16 bucks. SM33 or just 33, I think, as they call him on the show, from Skeleton Crew. Just got him because he's a cool, weird droid guy. So, just a unique droid and figure. I don't think I'll probably do a stream of him or a video. He'll probably just be opened, yeah, for my own pleasure off camera. But he looks cool. I've seen a few of pictures and reviews of him. So I know he's a cool looking figure, and he has like the extendo arms and legs. So cool little pickup. First thing, yeah, I got there. So really nice. Yeah. Yeah, it does also have a little stand, I guess, to help him actually stand up there. So that's nice. So about 16 bucks. I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get you. I've been waiting on it because it's like, because I think it's like 35 is like the original, and it's like, ooh, guys, that's a lot just for that. I don't know. So yeah, and then went over to Target. I don't really like going to Target these days, personally, just because of all their bullshit. But, and even like in that sense, like Walmart is not too better anyways, but you know, but Walmart is kind of like, they're kind of more just kind of like, all right, you're okay for now. But yeah, but then went over to Target. They had a few things I was not expecting to pick up and actually like get, but I couldn't wait. And also, yeah, just some of these figures, I was like, okay. But this one, yeah, first I'll show this off because then I have like basically a whole wave of figures. I couldn't help myself, but first thing, picked up the Mirage Ultimate Body Count Casey Jones. So this is the one with the, with the USA kind of hockey mask, and with I think a updated body or updated kind of shoulders compared to the previous ones, because this one is a lot more beefier. Has the whole chainsaw and still has like the hockey stuff, and then has like the extra gloves on there, kind of more of the, more so of the goalie type thing going on there. But he looks great. Kind of a figure that was definitely on my list, yeah, the moment I would see it in store. So I saw it there and I was like, I'm grabbing this Casey. Because he just looks amazing. He looks badass. So how could I not pick up this figure? So yeah. So probably expect him some point. I don't know. Maybe he'll be the 4th of July. It'll be a while, but maybe he'll get his own stream. So yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. And then the main things I saw over at Target, I didn't even know that these were out, or I even like forgot that these were coming out, but they were okay. Yeah, but they were a big surprise for me. But I picked up how do I do this? Most of, or at least I think half of the initial release. How do I get these? It's like 3 whole figures. Hold on. But I picked up the Jakks Pacific new Super Mario Galaxy line. So I got Yoshi, Rosalina, and Bowser Jr. there. Can I do them one at a time? So of course, first, we got Yoshi here. Donald Glover. Couldn't believe that. Yeah, but that's kind of funny. But there he is in all his dinosaur glory. Looking cool. So these were kind of a surprise, at least for me, to see here in store. That these are out now, but it makes sense because the movie comes out like literally April 1st. So April Fool's Day. Yeah, which is kind of a funny release date, but there it is. There they are. Yoshi looking good with the sunglasses, the New York City hat, and then the little bag. So I guess they're going to New York. I guess Yoshi is going with them. I'm kind of used to that. Yeah, where they're just in the thing. And then there's, of course, Mario. But there's Yoshi. New character, looks good. And then, of course, got Rosalina, and she was actually, the figure that was all by her, that was the last, like, of the other Rosalinas, I assume that were there. Because there were other Yoshis and Marios and Bowser Jr.'s, but this Rosalina was the last, and I was like, okay. Well, I knew I was going to get Rosalina, but I'm like, I'll just go ahead, get Bowser Jr., get Yoshi, call it good, and kind of like complete kind of like the collection for now, see what goes on from here. But Rosalina was definitely a need, and she was the last one of all the Rosalinas, but she looks great too. Can't wait to get her open. And then it's all freaking shiny over here, so the packaging's great, the posing's actually pretty good with the art and shit. So, and this is Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. That's kind of cool to see. Good for her. She's a great actress, even if Captain Marvel wasn't really the greatest. But, you know, I don't think that's necessarily her fault. I think that's the filmmakers. Cruiser, or Cruisery, or Cruisery. Welcome to the live stream. How much did it cost? Each of these were about like 20 bucks. So then we got Bowser Jr., who is just in his standard thing. I forget who plays Bowser Jr.'s, but yo, Gabe. And he's got his little paintbrush thing, so. And thank y'all for the like. Yo, welcome back, Gabe. Yeah, but these are about like 20 bucks, so not too bad. Yeah, and then there they also had Mario from this same new wave, where this is like their updated Mario that they did. I kind of wish that they had the kind of like a little bit of a figure rundown. That would be nice, because I didn't even know. Apparently they made a Luigi. Gabe says, guess what I got at Walmart? What you get, Gabe? What you get, brother? What you get? If it's Godzilla related, I'm gonna guess it's like some kind of like Playmates, kind of like Monsterverse stuff. But thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure, oh yeah, by the way, I got a shill. Be sure, like the video. Comment what you want to see on the channel, or go comment on anything. Ooh, but Gabe says a NECA Kong for just 17 bucks. Nice. That's kind of how much I got this guy at Walmart. Little, what? SM33. He's about like 16 bucks there, so that's cool. Is it like one of the, I assume it's one of, the original, like the book Kongs. Is that like the, yeah, is that the, yeah, because I know they have like a jungle one, they have like a city one, and then they have like that color one. I assume it's one of those ones where it looks like the original movie version. Because I'm looking at my main display one, because he has like, because with mine he has like the chains, and then he has, then I gave him, the Mezco Kong, the blonde lady, that he holds. So he's up there, looking great. I assume that's the kind of ones that you're talking about, Gabe, because those ones are great. I love those Kongs. I have like, I think I literally have like every version of those. I know I have one. Yeah, because I know I have one that's in, it's in my horror collection. Just that's like a basic kind of just gorilla monster. And then I have my main display in Kong, and then I have one for the Godzilla versus Kong version. What is that? 1962? What is it? 1964? I forget what year that was, because it was 1956. But Gabe says, I bought the jungle one, but it was just the King Kong and a swappable head and hands. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, because, you know, NECA is usually like around that $35 range, so that's definitely a steal. It was 1962. Thank you. I know it's there. I just always have to remember now. Before, I used to like know all the dates of all the Godzilla stuff in my head. I would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, 1962. Yeah, that's Godzilla versus King Kong. And now I'm like, am I right? Am I stupid? Do I know math? Yeah, do I know basic numbers and remembering? But yeah, good pickup, good haul. Oh yeah. And then I was saying, with the Mario Galaxy movie figures, there is a there is a single, Mario and Luigi. I believe Luigi's not out yet, or I just didn't have them at my store, but they have plenty of Marios, and they updated those. So I think they redid like the eyes a bit, so where they're actually more center focused, so they're not all weird looking. And then also they switched out the hands where they only have like articulated fingers, more so like their Sonic ones, and that's actually kind of nice. So I'm kind of debating, but I'm like, eh. Gabe says I also have the NECA poster King Kong. It's the colorful one. Okay, yeah, I also have that Kong too. He's kind of actually packed away because it doesn't really do too much for me, but I got him on sale and I was like, all right, cool. I'll get him because he looks cool. It's just a cool design. Maybe I'll put him up on the display, but he's just not necessary at this moment for me. But yeah. Well, as I was saying, so Mario, updated figure. I think the head sculpts are a little bit more cartoonish, less kind of like that realistic kind of thing they did with the faces before. Because you even see like how they do, but Rosalina. I think her face paint is less kind of translucent, kind of lucent. It's less of like that see-through plastic. It's more of just the regular base kind of skin tone plastic, more matte. So I'm kind of debating on getting that Mario and Luigi. I'm like, yeah, for now I think I'm okay, but later down the line we might see. Because then they also had this big, like this 4-pack, where it was Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Bowser Jr., but he was in like his full, what were they calling it? I forget what they were calling it, but it's like a whole, like in his purple mode. I'll call it, his Prowler mode, because they literally use the sound for it, but where he has like the mask up and it's all purple and his hair is all going crazy. But then they also have another Bowser Jr., it's normal, but has this little mask thing up on his face, and then he has a little clown car, little droney thing. So I'm probably going to pick that up, at least that Bowser Jr., but, but maybe the Mario and Luigi, I might as well get it all if I want to update my Mario collection, because I don't have everything from the first movie. I know I'm just missing the Tanuki suit, and it's still weird to me they haven't done a Donkey Kong. It's weird they haven't done that, because of course I got Bowser, Princess Peach, Toad, and Mario and Luigi. And then the biker Princess Peach, like those are good, and then also Cat Mario. But I just don't have the Tanuki suit version, which is actually pretty good. It looks like a great figure, but I just never got the chance to pick it up. Maybe soon, but time will tell. Always more to collect. Always things to buy up, to waste money on. But, that's what we collectors like doing. Just yapping, talking toys, buying toys, collecting until I literally can't anymore. Oh yeah, but also, like, I did also want to mention, big kind of update, redid, my main Avengers and also my MCU shelf. Like, I'm looking at them right now. I finally added the Titan Heroes Fantastic Four of a First Steps Galactus figure in there. He looks great. He towers over everyone, and he perfectly fits in my shelf, so I'm so happy about that, to finally add that and then kind of redo the thing and being like, oh, okay, I actually do have space to put all these MCU figures on. So now that's like a full-on display, and it looks great right now. So Gabe says, did you see the Power Rangers Godzilla X figures are out? I did see that. I didn't see them at Target, which I was like kind of like surprised of. I didn't see them even at Walmart. But they look great, and I'll definitely be picking up those, because I can't help myself. I'm actually more, I did see this, and I'm surprised I didn't talk about this last time. I don't think I did. But I did see that Playmates announced their their second wave of the Godzilla X TMNT figures. But Gabe says, I'm going to go broke. Bro, for real. There's so much. And with all the prices and tariffs and everything, it's like, am I going to be able to afford all the lines that I collect? I can't wait for Titan X. Oh, is that the, yeah, is that like the Godzilla with the full, like that huge figure? I'm not going to get that. I'm going to get all the Rangers, but probably not Godzilla in the thing. Or, like, unless Titan X is like something else, I forget. I haven't really read up too much on the lore of Godzilla X Power Rangers. But then they have yeah, the Godzilla X yeah, but TMNT line, that's still going. Nose from Monarch. Okay. Who's Titan X? Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch that show too. I haven't even watched that. I gotta get through this first season, because I know that season 2 is coming out soon, or recently came out soon. I don't really follow really that much entertainment news, really that much anyways. Well, just being on just social media, it's just so much. So I kind of get everything like from YouTube here personally. That's like the main one that's kind of decent. Instagram's all right. I mean, I feel like their news is about like a day or two. Playmates is making a Titan X and Ion Dragon. Okay, that'll be cool to see. Yeah, I assume they haven't really shown it off, or if they have, or if they've like announced it and be like, it's here. It's a thing. Go buy it whenever you're ready. So, I don't know. I don't really get a lot of the newer kind of like MonsterVerse Playmates stuff. Hold on. Let me see if my thing is freaking working. Okay. Okay, there we go. They show them, not out yet though. Okay. Makes sense. I probably saw them, I was just like, okay, cool. More, yeah, more Titans. Because I don't really collect that much of the actual, like, the legendary stuff. If anything, I'll probably just get Haya. Yeah, when it comes to everything, because I'm just like, I need my highly articulated, very nice, sculpted and painted figures, even if they're kind of basic. I might just give it. I'ma need them. Because I only really have one of their Godzillas, and then the female Muto that they finally made. Waiting for them to make a male Muto, for sure. And then, do I have anything else when it comes to MonsterVerse? Because I don't have a Kong. Because I've been just waiting on Haya. To make a good Kong, and they have. Yeah, I think their latest one that they announced, like, that's the one I'm gonna be getting. I think that is a, is it a Godzilla X Kong version? Is that like their verses? I can't remember what, which one. It might be like still like an older one, yeah, from Empire, but probably like earlier in the movie. I can't remember. Because they all just kind of, yeah, they blend in my head, but I'm like, oh, that looks great. I'll definitely get that. Because I still have, their GMK on order. I need, I need to check, my tracking on that. Because it's been a while since, since I've checked. But they said it should be out here at least by March. So by this month. So we'll kind of see. Hopefully that'll come by. Maybe that'll be a stream. That might most likely just be a video, to be honest. Playmate should make a behemoth. That would be pretty cool. Kind of, just like a more basic, behemoth figure. Because I know that Haya has one in the works. It looks great. Because I know they did Scylla was there, or like Skyla, whatever, like the little crab squid thing, spider looking thing. And then they had and then I know they're doing a Mothra and Suko 2-pack. I think same with Figure Arts too as well. And then and then of course the Kong I mentioned, and then of course like their Godzillas. I don't remember, but I need to see when my GMK is gonna come out, because I probably want to do a video of that. Finally kind of get back to doing videos a bit, do something. I still have videos that are just sitting there, just just collecting dust in the database, but I'm just like, they just don't hit it right now for me, so we'll just see what goes on. But definitely need to get my hands on that GMK. Hopefully he'll be coming out soon. I need that higher GMK. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for Big Bag Toy Store to be like, it's coming. And I'll be like, yes, man. That's my shit. That's my guy. That Godzilla fucking came out the year I was born. So I'm like, fuck yeah, brother. That's my fucking dude right there. That's my Godzilla mainly. I don't know what is specifically my favorite Godzilla. Before a while it was the 1962, the Godzilla versus Kong one, the original. For a while, because I just really like the design. I think it just worked so well for Godzilla. He was like an actual like a green too, so I was like, okay, that's but that's more of like a unique thing for that one. And I just like the face shape and then how he was portrayed in the film. So lots of Godzilla talk, lots of shit going on. Oh yeah, I did still want to mention the Playmates, the TMNT X Godzilla figures, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. Wave 2, I think. I'm trying to remember who they showed off. I know they showed off the Donatello as Jaguar. Looks great. It's gonna be nice to finally complete the 4. Yeah, like how they probably should have done before, in my opinion. And then also the Shredder as Gigan, I think it was, because that makes sense. He has the hook claws, can have the visor with the thing. I think that's what it was. And then the third one, I can't remember. It bothers me. I feel like that there's like something in there. I don't know if it's like a Casey Jones or if it's like a Krang or something. I think it might be a Krang. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the third one is Krang. No, it was Shredder X Mechagodzilla. That's what it was. So then was it a Krang X like Gigan or something? Something like that. I feel like it was a Krang. But Shredder X like a Mechagodzilla, that makes sense. Or was it a okay. Yeah, because that makes sense to, have a Mechagodzilla as Shredder, because you have Leonardo as Godzilla, so that makes sense there. Gabe says, yes, hold on, let me look. You're good, Gabe. I keep forgetting, because I know I have the Donatello, right? And then now Shredder is correct. I just can't remember. I think it's a Krang. I don't know if it's Gigan. I don't know what it is. In my brain, too, I'm kind of like, I kind of wish they would do a King Caesar of, who is it? Splinter X King Caesar, because I feel like that's a pretty kind of one-to-one thing you could do. Also trying to think of who else. Casey Jones as Anguirus. April, Ex Mothra, obvious. I mean, just do it. I don't know if they did it in the comics, if that was supposed to be a thing, or if that's just a thing that they're just throwing around with the toys. I have no idea what's going on with all these Godzilla freaking crossovers. There's so many. There's so much going on, bro. And I'm loving it. I think that there's also like another Godzilla crossover thing that's going on with another company. With another major franchise. I know there's not a DC because they... they do have a thing, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did do it. With the McFarlane stuff, but that was just more actual giant figures compared to regular figures. And those I'm like, I don't need it, but I'm trying to remember what other Godzilla stuff. Bebop is Gigan and Rocksteady is Destroya. Rocksteady is Destroya? Okay. Bebop is Gigan works. Rocksteady, Destroya? I'm like, you probably could have done Krang as Destroya, if anything. But Rocksteady, I feel like he could have been like a better, as Megalon, because that's like your duo kind of there. Because if you're not gonna do King Ghidorah as your main bad, because you have him as Michelangelo, even though I prefer him as Shredder, personally. And then you could do, you know, Krang. I don't know who Krang would really be. I just feel like Mechagodzilla would be good for Krang, because it kind of makes some sense with the whole brain thing, like in Terror of Mechagodzilla, how he had his head exploded, be that little brain thing. So I'm like, that could have been cool. But I don't know. It's whatever. Yeah, I guess I don't make the decisions. I don't do the company stuff. But Bebop as Gigan, that's good. But yeah, but I probably would have preferred to see Rocksteady maybe as like Megalon. I think that's just a better duo, because they're just two guys. Destroyer, like maybe you could do that as like Krang. That maybe would have been cool, but then I don't know if that really suits the turtle vibe. I don't know. Who could have been Destroyer? I mean, of course, Shredder as well, but, you know, but I think that ultimately doing him as Mechagodzilla does make sense, even though I probably prefer it as King Ghidorah, but Bebop as Gigan, that works. Rocksteady as Destroyer, not really the same era, also, because most of these are kind of Showa stuff, so I would throw in kind of like a Destroyer in there out of nowhere, so it doesn't really fit, because he's Heisei, the rest are kind of, you know, well, all of them are kind of Heisei. But then you could have done, you know what? They could have done Shredder as Space Godzilla. That would have been cool. And then do, the new Krang as Mechagodzilla, and then do Bebop and Rocksteady as Gigan and Megalon. I mean, that's just what my brain thinks. And then, you know, and then it's fine with Mikey as King Ghidorah. I don't mind that too much. He just kind of sticks out, though, because he's not a good monster per se, you know. I mean, he is a iconic monster, but then, you know, having, you know, Donatello as Jet Jaguar is also a full-on Showa thing, so I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing? Who's making decisions? That's a weird pairing. I would probably rather have, well, probably, okay. Oh, well, now I'm just going down my brain of all these TMNT Godzilla toys. Okay. Yeah, so Leo as Godzilla, perfect. Perfect choice. Raph as Rodan, that's pretty good. I don't think you can do any better than that. I think that's perfect. And then Donatello as Jet Jaguar, in hindsight, works a lot better. I would have probably maybe more preferred him as Mecha Godzilla, but I think Donatello, yeah, it makes more sense. And then Michelangelo probably would have been Anguirus in my mind. More so, maybe more so with Casey Jones with Anguirus, but I don't know if they're ever really going to do those. I'm trying to think of who else Mikey could be, because I do like King Ghidorah now. It's grown on me, and it looks great. I have it right there. It's sitting, I'm looking right at it. It's on the floor, staring at me, but I'm trying to just think of what other kaiju and then Michelangelo could be. And we've had this discussion before. I just like yapping about these toys, but, you know, but Michelangelo as like some other kaiju, I feel like just could have worked better. At least in my mind, it just wouldn't make sense. But what do I know? I don't make millions of dollars, but I'm trying to remember what other kaiju I would have Michelangelo as. Because Anguirus, yeah, would have been fine. Gorsaurus, kind of low on his level. I just don't know. Besides, like, Anguirus, and and that would make sense. And then Casey Jones, maybe, as like, well, then I would want Splinter as King Caesar. Anyways. And then April, of course, is Mothra, and then maybe Casey Jones. I don't know, because if I'm thinking having Mikey Anguirus, and then King Caesar, Splinter, April Mothra. What would Casey be then? Maybe it's Gorosaurus? I don't know. Well, you know what? Could have done. Could have done maybe like a Baragon with Mikey. I feel that they've been kind of more up on Baragon. So then having kind of Casey Jones as Anguirus, at least to me, makes more sense with the whole mask thing going on. So I think that would be cool. But, you know. And then with the villain side, I mean, they're pretty alright. Meh. Meh. And meh. I don't know. I feel that there just could have been more thought into it. I think that they're just like, monsters, who's popular? All right, throw them in there. Of course, Gaffer Godzillas and Rodans. Companies are weird. They, yeah, they make, but weird decisions, but I just want to see it again. So Shredder's Mechagodzilla, Bebop is Gigan, and Rocksteady is Destroyer. And then had, what was their fourth one? I can't remember what the fourth one is. Oh yeah, but it was Donnie as Jet Jaguar. So it's kind of weird that they're doing a 4 wave when they didn't do that before. I would think that they would have just stuck to 3, because if you're doing, you know, the 3 and you're not throwing in the 4th turtle in there in that initial release, that's kind of weird to me. And then, you know, because it would have been nice, you know, having all 4 of the turtles in that initial wave, have Godzilla, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Jet Jaguar of the 4 turtles, and then have your 4th wave be all your villains. So you would have Shredder, as we have him now, as Mechagodzilla, and then having Bebop as Gigan, like a Rocksteady as Destroyer, and then you could do Krang. Throw Krang in there. I don't know who he would be, really. Maybe Mecha? King Ghidorah? I don't know. It's just weird. I just feel like, especially like with Rocksteady, like as Destroyer, I'm just like, Destroyer is too high up. I think that that's just like completely out of left field. I don't think it makes sense, at least in my mind. Gabe, I mean, they kind of go with the popular ones. The second wave is Donnie as Jet Jaguar, Splinter as King Caesar. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was King Caesar. See, that's perfect. See, that's what I want. So that's great. But then, I just don't... Bebop as Destroyer, that is not... He is not a Destroyer level. I'm sorry. He's just not there. If anyone, do Krang as Destroyer, because that just makes more sense. They are in the comics, and that's what I'm like, what are y'all writing? Who's writing? Well, we probably know who's writing it, but I'm just like, bro, what are these meetings? Only in the comics, I know. But the fact that they're, you know, making these decisions and, yeah, kind of like assigning a monster and being like, oh, Bebop. No figures of them, yeah, unfortunately. Okay. Of Bebop and Gigan? Oh, like, yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady specifically? Like, those two don't have figures? Because I can't remember. Yeah, because I feel like I saw something. Maybe. I feel like I saw something of Gigan, but I don't know. I'm just losing my mind right now. I'm just getting... Yeah, I'm just getting picky about my Godzilla Mutant Turtles crossover decisions. Because I'd be more surprised if they weren't like more picky with how their monsters are assigned. Because just Rocksteady as Destroyer just makes no sense to me. It just doesn't connect on my brainwaves. I'm like, he's just too much. And I'm sorry I'm harping on this, but I'm a fucking nerd. I can't help it. And I'm just looking at him and I'm kind of like, Destroyer for Rocksteady? What are y'all doing? Get out of here, man. Bebop as Gigan, I mean, that's fine. That is base level. That is fine. He is a kaiju. He's a monster. It makes sense. I feel like, okay, maybe Rocksteady would have been better as Gigan and then have Bebop as your, like a Megalon. I know they don't want to probably go too deep, but it's just like, if you're going to do a pair of two kind of loser monsters, and you're even throwing in Jet Jaguar there already, might as well complete the set, you know? If you're going to do Gigan, do Megalon. They're a pair. I know there's like the whole, like the King Ghidorah in him, but you'd be Mikey King Ghidorah, so kind of too late. So just finish Godzilla versus Megalon. Just do that. If you're doing a Showa thing anyways, so why throw in mainly, you know, a Heisei kind of thing? It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Because then you got King Caesar. He wasn't ever the Heisei. He was Showa and then in Final Wars. And then that's it. So it's just like these companies, like, I apologize. I'm just getting so in the weeds of all the technical things, and I'm just like, what are y'all doing? What's going on? Why are we doing this? What's the decision making on what monster do we assign per thing? And then someone's like, oh, okay, well, Rocksteady is up here, and then Destroya, like when it comes to villains, is like up here. But of all the rest, they kind of match technically. And it's just like, okay, I don't think that really makes sense. I get it. It just the level of monsters and level of the acting. I'm back. This light's stalking. Everything's back. Power went out for a second. Hello. Am I back? Am I back live? My Wi-Fi is gone. Well, lost power for a second, but we are back. Sorry about that. Okay. I guess I better just hurry up because I'm probably using up a lot of power and I don't want to get in trouble because of this. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to switch over this camera. I'm going to stop yapping. We're going to finally get into our figure 4. Okay, back again for the second or third time. So my Wi-Fi is fortunately not working at the moment. Then all my power just went out, so excuse me with the technical problems. God damn, maybe I should have done it later. It's only 7:20. Okay. We're just not gonna worry about it. So hopefully this will be okay. I'm gonna wait. Okay, we're connected. All right. Looks like all my shit is working. Okay. I think we're fully back now. I think everything's working fine. So we're gonna go ahead, switch over my camera, get back to this thing, and talk about this Pennywise before everything falls apart again. Okay. There we go. There's our guy. Not centered at all. We have some big winds going on here, so if I lose... Yeah, I just got a massive wind just coming by. I can hear it. I can see it outside my window. It is insane right now, y'all. Is it the forces of B that Friday the 13th, like of Pennywise, getting over here? All the spooky vibes have joined us for this stream. But there's our NECA HBO original Welcome to Derry Ultimate Blood Pennywise figure, which I believe is a Walmart exclusive. But he looks great. Cool box on the front, so where we first see him, where he's in the kitchen on top of the fridge. So spoilers if you haven't seen the show. I've seen the whole show. I love the show. It was great. It was such a vibe. But there's your It logo, your HBO original Welcome to Derry Ultimate Blood Pennywise, and of course again the great picture of my boy little Skarsgård in the fit, looking fire as hell. You got NECA HBO original Welcome to Derry Ultimate Blood Pennywise, warning, choking hazard, ages 17 and up, and with these little blood and kind of red blood, kind of veiny things going on here. On the side, have the Welcome to Derry logo there. That same kind of weird line, kind of, actually it's like a tree. That's weird. But then you have Pennywise on the side here with the little outline and covered in blood. Your Ultimate Blood Pennywise, your floor with your thing, ground. And then the same thing here on this side, but you have a little bike and a bigger tree on the back, and then have Pennywise there with his different smile there at the bottom. All the people who have made these great looking figures. Product development, sculpt, paint, photography, packaging. Great people and very, very neat. Included multiple interchangeable heads, hands, balloon. Welcome to Derry, Warner Brothers, NECA, Real Toys, barcode. There, and then on the back have a nice little kind of like a circus kind of setup here. So looks pretty cool. Has your Welcome to Derry logo. Nice promo shots of Pennywise. One is him all happy, one of them all sinister, and one with the balloon, kind of neutral. It has the little carnival tent kind of thing going on there. It's also, I guess, like the house, maybe the dairy house with the lines, or maybe that's just a carnival thing. I don't know. But also available, have the Ultimate Bob Gray, the Ultimate Pennywise, and then the 1/4 scale Pennywise advertised. They're probably going to be getting these two at some point, because I don't have a regular Pennywise. I never picked up any of the others from the previous movies, and then love the Bob Gray look. And you kind of, like, you just gotta. It looks so good. He looks so great. He's so sad, but he's cool. And then Pennywise is creepy as hell. And then there's the 1/4 scale, which looks great, but it's kind of a lot. And then, of course, we open this up, have a nice big promo image of Pennywise, where I guess he's in some kind of lair or sewer. There's like blood dripping or something. I don't know what's going on here, but it's cool. And then on the actual inside, have like a whole, like a carnival kind of thing. So you have the Pennywise, that's a clown, time to float, and he's all weird and creepy. Have these masks there, have these pillars here with all that, and then have the full figure with accessories and all in its bloody glory. So this is my first ever Pennywise figure I'm gonna ever really be messing with from NECA, because I never picked up the rest, but definitely been something needing to do, or recently, just never got around to it until now. But I think this is not going to be a bad one to start it off. So we'll go ahead, get this guy open, get our stuff going along. Thankfully, we haven't lost power since then, so hopefully we're all back to normal for the rest of the stream, at least. We're going to get our tools. First, of course, our trusty X-Acto blade. Open up the bottom here as usual. But I do want to say, this is probably one of my favorite looks of Pennywise. At first, I was kind of like, this is weird. I hope he doesn't have this yeah, the whole rest of the show, and he still did. And I think he just looked great. Where did my piece for that go? What the heck? Am I losing my mind? Oh, there it is. Yeah, but this is definitely one of, like, one of the looks of Pennywise that actually kind of, like, grew on me. I really liked kind of his whole design during, when he was finally, fully, like, just introduced. Like, they built up to it so well. And it's just, like, it just looks so good. He looks amazing, but this is kind of, like, a very unique look at something that kind of, actually, like, kind of grew on me a bit as this episode, or I think couple of episodes, he had this in the finale, went on. Oh yeah, and then in here, have your insert, has this little cavern thing. So that's cool. Pretty cool, pretty nice. It's like a little layer, I guess. And then there he is in all his plastic bloody glory. Happy Friday the 13th, y'all. Spooky, scary. What the hey? But he looks really cool. He looks great. Looks like there's a bit more wind. I want to be kind of careful. What's going on outside? I can hear it. But yeah. All right. I think we'll just go ahead, open up this guy. I guess I'll just put him back in here again. Bruh. Just to get him. So first we'll take out my alternate hands. He has his balloon holding hand, which has the thing, but has this little circle there. Hopefully I'll be able to actually get that into the balloon hand. Have your two alternate, I guess, kind of like looser grip balloon holding hands there. Kind of just a thing going on there. And then alternate other hands here. Your two, get over here. Split out hands. Look pretty cool. Have the little glove lines and details on there with the seams and everything. So very cool and look very clean, even if they're all red there, but it's a great sculpt. These plastic bits go back to where they belong. Be kept. And then we will get out. Is that what's making that noise? I don't know. But yeah, but we will get out our trusty snips. And, well, do we want to get Pennywise free? Well, first let me get the head sculpts. Excuse me. To the side. Bruh. Man. Getting these head sculpts out of here is a treat. Excuse me if that's a little loud, but I will also try to get out my balloon piece. That does have a full bendy wire going on there, so that's very cool, but probably best to keep it up straight so it doesn't dangle, do too much. It is kind of weird. It doesn't, well, I guess it makes sense to not have it in there, but then I don't know how you couldn't like just sculpt it through or find some way to have it go through, because then you kind of just have to like just cheat it by having it like that. But I get it. I get why they do it. Jesus. Another big hit of wind. Yeah, but then there's our alternate head. So you have one here. That's just the more vacant expression. He is kind of looking to the left a bit. He's not really looking that forwards, but then have that more sinister smile going on there with the one eye doing its thing. But that looks great. This looks pretty good. His head's all like crusty though, and kind of big though. Big old noggin, but look great. And the more, I guess, kind of like the more like the orangey hair, I do enjoy. I do like it. Yeah, it's more kind of like saturated, a bit less of a subdued color. But we'll get out our figure. Finally, use these snips. There we go. And there we go. Is that all of them? I think it is. That is. Okay, well there's all of our guys there. Sure everything came out. It looked like it did. There goes our plastic to the ether, or Garbo, put to the side. Oh, not all of it. Hold up. Get out of there. You, the trash horde, dropped one, as always. All right. This stuff there, but yeah, here is the man, the myth, the legend, Pennywise, the dancing clown. But this is, of course, our Blood Pennywise. I guess I'll go ahead, get up a bit further, be able to give you a better kind of close-up here. He comes packed in with his regular kind of like screaming head. Doesn't have like the sharp teeth really or anything, I think, going on there. It's just his regular kind of human like teeth. I would probably prefer if they had like the spiky teeth in there, because on this one you do see like the big, like the bucktooth teeth. But you know, it's still a nice sculpt. It still looks like Pennywise. It looks great. And then have like the blood, of course, down there, like just over the nose, whole neck. There's all bloody, of course, with the whole clothing as well, kind of soaked up in there. I guess it's not really like, it doesn't really look like too wet, I guess, in the show, but it looks very wet here. I can't really, yeah, I feel like it was just more dyed, and then maybe like some more like wetness like around the collar. But this looks super cool, having all your folds and everything, having your red buttons there that are all stained, and then the whole kind of like the white grayish costume, yeah, that he wears is all stained in that blood pool he was gonna be in. And then down to the little skirt piece there, that's all rubbery, so might help a bit with articulation, but looks pretty good and super malleable. Little frills there and here. Shoulder things. Nice little detail back there with the sculpting. That's really cool. And then, of course, with the legs and the feet. Little tufts on there, too. And then little side designs. But, you know, and all that red variation with your darker kind of shadowing all throughout. That gives it that more premium feel. But looks great. I know my camera isn't liking the contrast too much, but it's just how it is, bro. But he looks cool. He looks great. Do want to try... Well, okay. First, we'll go over his articulation. Gotta show that off. So, at the top of the head, you do have a ball. Well, oh, okay. You have just a rod that goes down to a ball at the top of the neck, and you do have this little frill piece that can come off. But with your standard head... Oh, yeah, and also, you do have a little bit of actually, like, red kind of flaking. Yeah, actually kind of, yeah, highlights there, kind of like a dry brush. So he's kind of, like, also sprayed in the back with blood. I didn't even realize that, but that's on all the head. It's kind of like a brownish red, too, so it kind of just blends in, but it looks great. All right, but anyways, sorry. Getting fine in my little details now. But then, so your head and your neck goes up about that far. I know it's kind of getting you. It goes down, not that far. Kind of side to side. Rotation kind of stops itself at the chin with the collar, but can kind of get a full hula hoop thing going on there. At the shoulder, hinge up there, where it goes up about that far. You can again come around. It does get kind of stuck on here, so you kind of gonna be pushing it unless you bring it out there with the shoulder. So then you can do that full 360. Do have a bicep swivel there, side to side, and yeah, and then you have but they're double jointed elbow, but where it's a separate whole piece in the center there, so that can rotate at the top on the actual bicep and also give you a double jointed elbow as well. That's all pinless there. And then you also get a lower kind of bicep swivel included on there. So that's a lot just in the arm there. And then, of course, with the hands, they rotate and then they hinge in and out. I don't know with his... Okay, so his specific balloon one, yeah, with the little hole, does have a up and down hinge there. Of course, a bit stiff out of packaging. Break it in. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then, oh yeah, and then also with the regular holding, kind of loose grip hands also do have your up and down joint there too, but not your fully kind of flat palmed. And then, yeah, of course we saw he's also packed it with kind of more grabbing kind of hands there, but have the same glove and lining and details with the blood. And then at the torso, you have just a ball down there. So rotate, tilt, forward, back. Not too shabby, but get some mobility. Can kind of crouch down a bit if he wants to. And then at the legs, can't really see much here because of the skirt, but okay, you do have a inner thigh cut at the top there, so you can kind of rotate that much at the top. Can kick forward about that far if you're pushing it, and then back actually pretty far. That's actually pretty great for a figure. I don't know if he has drop down. I don't believe so, but Yeah, but they can only go out not that far. Can't do the full Glen web thing with the arms out and everything. And then with the knee, it's actually the same as the elbow. So you're actually able to get a rotation up there as well, even if it's not a complete, but you get some there. Then have your double jointed knee there. Pretty all right range, and then have your rotation kind of as your boot rotation there, because you don't get one at the boot. But then at the actual shoe, yeah, because you don't get rotation there, I don't think. Because that makes sense then. Because if you have this move and you don't need to move anything else. And then, yeah, and so then at the shoe, hinge forward not that far, hinge back that far, and then we have some ankle rocker. So he can actually probably stand up pretty well and has been doing pretty all right. I mean, so far. Get him, yeah. Pretty easy. Not bad at all. I guess we'll just get him into the little pose. I guess we'll go just for the straight up, just the look here. He's like, I'm gonna get you kids. Sorry if my thing's all blown out, but he's like, I'm gonna eat them kids, bro. And everyone's like, don't do that. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. And he's like, I got one. And everyone's like, oh, this sucks. I got a few. What the hell? But yeah, looks great. Looks amazing. But I'll try. Of course, the heads come off actually pretty easily. Could do like his little weird smile. That will go on. Hold on. There we go. So I'll try switching out his hands. I do want to be careful. Okay, they didn't actually come out too hard. Maybe I'll do a... Oh, is it a left hand? It is a left hand. We're doing the thing. And then I'll do the full-on flat palmed. Because he does kind of like hit the Spider-Man pose a couple times, and it's always kind of like, oh, this dude is having the time of his life. He got his ass kicked at the end, but even still, it was just so much. Okay, and I'm going to try to get the balloon in his hand. See how difficult this is. Which I'm not surprised that it probably is. That doesn't even look... It's not even really punched. So that's kind of stupid. Maybe I should do... Hold on. I might have a little trick for this. Do I have some pliers? Because if you can see... That's a good way to show. So you see that my balloon holding hand, the hole for it actually doesn't go all the way, which is stupid. And it's also still not like big enough anyway, so... Might be one of those things, yeah, where I might have to like heat it up realistically, but Okay, so I got that through. So let's see if I can get this piece in. There we go. Easy. Easy peasy. Easy little thing to do. So yeah, so if your thing's all... Oh yeah, also. Forgot about this too. It also kind of weighs. Kind of a ton, so you have to... get it a certain way. I'm trying to get this pose. The way I want it. Hopefully this works. Maybe I'll do it more like this. I just don't know if he actually like did this during the show. Like had this going on with the balloons. I can't remember. Maybe he had like a few balloons. But look at this little weird ass clown with his little balloon. So happy. So happy to be there. Even when covered in blood. You stop. A big wind hit there. That wind is blowing. Feel it on the wall. That's weird, but some weird energy going on right now, bruh. Some spooky odd day. Friday the 13th. Crazy weather. Now a Pennywise, but blown out my camera, but still looks great. Still looks cool. Still fun dude. I mean, look at that. How can you not enjoy that? That's just Pennywise there. That's our dude. That's the guy. All right. And then we'll do one last head swap. We're doing with the Sirius. Head sculpt. And we'll do... Okay, I'm going to switch out my hands. I'm going to keep this balloon on this one because I don't think there's any other reason to not do it. And then... what I want to do for this one, might do... I'll do this and I'll do a splayed out. I like just your more neutral, kind of just like still intimidating, still kind of scary, but it's kind of like, oh, we're doing this now. Kind of thing. I don't know. Probably prefer him. I honestly probably do prefer him with this open mouth. This is probably my favorite look when it comes to this one. Even though, like, I do love having the balloon, but I probably would have it just with, yeah, for more standard Pennywise. I kind of wish this one came with a kind of maybe, like if he had a, what is it, yeah, the Deadlights kind of head, the one where he's just like all mouth and all teeth, has like the 3 little lights, because I know they have that head sculpt. They've made that figure before. So I kind of wish that was an added-on thing, maybe to replace the balloon. I don't know, but I feel like that they could have done that. It would have been nice, because that, yeah, because that was like a huge, like an introduction to him too, when he's at the school, and he gets all the kids. He literally has the whole school in his palm, and they're all going to his lair. So he's doing his one massive last feast. So it would have been nice to have that, but I also think is also like his other most iconic was when he was like frozen, but he was all like weird looking at that time. But yes, but then they put him back to normal, and he still killed the one army guy. So this is kind of what I think of, yeah, when I'm seeing this. So, but yeah, kind of just a pretty neat figure. Just, yeah, just a great kind of like an execution of this Pennywise in this version from the show, covered in blood, head to toe. Well, not head to toe, but nose to toe. I don't know, but he looks cool. But yeah, I guess that's really it. Kind of thought this would be going a little longer, but there he is. The hope we had an angle. What's that angle? Why does it work? You should be like that entire time. You should be seen. You were like full like HD in one angle, but it's not right now. See, that's the thing. It keeps wanting to do it, but it doesn't do it, and then it just overblows itself. See, like that. Like, what's that freaking camera over there? See, I'm looking for that. The camera just doesn't know how to do it. Can this thing is so stupid. Okay. Anyways. Cool figure. Massive head keeps blowing out my camera. But he looks cool. He looks great. This upsets me greatly. What the hell? If it's all concentrated there, is it going to get better? I don't think so. All right. We're removing everything. Now, time for our comparisons. I don't know what to say as my transition. I keep forgetting. But Pennywise looks great. I love the design. I think it looks great. I think it is just a cool interpretation. Would like to maybe see another version of this that's more weird. I would like to just see more kind of, I guess, more monstrous, kind of like head sculpts with this Pennywise. Can this? Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this working. See, this is the angle I'm looking for. Well, what is this? Why are you like all the way down there now? This camera is so stupid, y'all. Stand there. 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 Oh. Over here. Hello. This autofocus is so dumb. Alright. We're just gonna go for it. This camera can't make up its mind. Okay. So first gonna do some of my kind of like, I guess, kind of like, I would call these like your more horror icons nowadays. Kind of going with this Pennywise. So got Michael Myers from Halloween. Got Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I forget which part this was, but this is the one where he fights the telepath. And he's like basically skull and bones. I believe so. He's really cool. One of my favorite Jasons. Well, my main display date Jason right now. He does look so good. And then have Michael Myers. This is the 2018 one with the with the Halloween 2. Kind of kind of like their regular, more Michael head. Because on the Halloween 2 version, I have him with the bloody eyes. So this is my main display Michael. Even though it's older, it's taller, but it still works. He looks great. Then next, have the Mezco Toys Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherhead. One of my favorite horror figures, honestly. And then Sam from Trick or Treat from NECA. I would say a highly underrated movie when it comes to Halloween movies. Watch Trick or Treat. It's so good. It's such a great kind of like little kind of mini series. It's basically like just 3 short stories put into one, and Sam is, like the Halloween kind of spirit in my mind. He's kind of like the enforcer of rules when it comes to Halloween, and is very brutal with his ways because, he's a sack child. So, and his weapon is it is a lollipop. So, don't mess with Sam. They should do a Trick or Treat series where they just do like a bunch of like that of what they've done, and it's all like little short stories to do with the town. Yeah, because Trick or Treat, I'm surprised they haven't tried. I think when it came out, like initially, it wasn't really that big, from what I recall, but it's so good. Y'all should go check it out. It's really good. It's super cool. And then, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is great. Just a classic. Classic horror. Classic little dudes here. Mystical and real. And different brands, so nice variety. Then, moving back over to NECA and basically staying there for a bit. For more horror icons, of course, gotta put in Ghostface, even though latest movie sucks and I refuse to see it because of all the shit behind it. So it is just like a great figure. He looks great. He looks cool in this Oh my god. And then here's John Kramer, I think his name is. Our dude. So yeah, so a lot of white faces. Blowing out my camera. In this. Oh, and I gotta put Billy in here anyways, too. The puppet. There we go, to balance out everything. There we are. You son of a bitch. What the hell? Look at that. Look how great they are. Look at them. They look great. They look really cool. He does not. Pennywise gotta be like in a row, or he's just not getting looked at because he's got a super white face. Stop looking over there. All right. There's our dudes. There's Billy on his little freaking tricycle thing. Look at him. Do you want to play a game, brother? All right. Fun figures. This Pennywise is cool. Just, and then compared to two dudes. Because there ain't that really that much mystical shit, but, you know. But then kind of getting over, starting our kind of human section, but these are still kind of horror icons in my mind. So part of that category too have the... Yeah, so first we have McCready, I think his name is. Yeah, from the thing, it's freaking Kurt Russell, young Kurt Russell, looking badass. I have him with the thing right there, with the flamethrower. Got Pennywise, of course, there, and then I have Laurie Strode. What's her freaking name? She has a great name. What the fuck? Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode from the 2018. I gotta do a picture with them at some point. But they're just like your basic humans. Look great. Can this work? If I just stay right there and don't mess with nothing, I think it'll be fine. But there's our dude. He actually kind of works. Could do and then there's Pennywise going so pretty cool, pretty fun, pretty great. Oh, Mr. Wise, move along. All right. Next, continuing our human specific comparisons and starting going out of the horror genre more into regular kind of action, kind of pop culture. So we have the NECA Terminator 2 T-1000. I can't remember what his thing was, but he's the cop who's actually a robot, but he's just used as a cop on my display. And then have the kid, whatever his name is, I can't remember. It's very iconic. He's just the kid. I'm just like, okay, that's the kid from T2. He looks cool. I can't remember his name. And then his mom, I have, yeah, the mom, but I don't know their names. I don't really care for Terminator that much. It just wasn't, I was just like, it's cool. But I'm like, all right, just the two, and that's it. The rest are, well, I guess, passable in some way, but not really. Don't talk about it. Yeah, they're just characters. They're just people. And so these are kind of like on that level too. And this is kind of actually, I think, more better for it. But we'll do... This is the Stranger Things. Can't remember what her name is. I want to say Barbara, but I don't think that's right. And have that kid. I don't think is his name like Lucas? I don't think it is. I'm just assuming. I can't remember, but he has bad feet. I keep forgetting that he has weird legs that don't want to stand up, because this is McFarlane, so. So it makes them hard as hell to just stand up by themselves. Having actual kids. It's good to have to go with your Pennywise. Everyone works together. There they are. Looking pretty good. And she especially actually kind of works. He works well too. But that'll definitely probably be a picture with him and her. Because she also reminds me of the Nerd Girl. And I would wish that they, yeah, and I definitely do wish that NECA would actually like do the actual cast of these horror movies. Like, give me a young, like a Laurie Strode. I know they do a Dr. Loomis. He's great. I need to get that 2-pack because that's actually more accurate with the thing. But in any case, you know, give me characters from these movies. Give me all the It kids. Give me all of them as adults, like of the original stories. And then give me the Derry kids. Like, give me all those. I'm like, I'll take them. Give me all the adults in that show too. They're cool. They're awesome characters, and I can use them. I would actually like to have a cast to go with my Pennywise, and not just have 100 Pennywises. Like, give me a turtle or something, bro. Like, at least if you're gonna get mystical. But then we have the little trick-or-treaters we have here. So this is the Ben Cooper Godzilla one, and then this is from Halloween 3. This is one of the one of the Shamrock kids here, the skull one, just to kind of have kids and have them in Halloween specific because of, you know, monster, spooky, NECA, scary things and all. But fun little show off here. Look great. They look cool. Would be fun. Yeah, oh yeah, I could get the Pennywise. I know they've made one. That actually could actually go well with this one. It would actually make sense in my mind that he would actually maybe have branding like that. Maybe at that time. Then now getting into my, Universal Monsters. So here we have Dracula and a Wolfman. Or the Wolfman. Of course, this is Bela Lugosi. And what's your freaking name? I can't remember. I know you're Junior. Lon Chaney Jr. I need to get an actual kind of Lon Chaney monster figure. I know they did the the weird, the vampire with the monocle movie version, but that movie never came out. I'm pretty sure it's like Lost Media, which is like another silent movie, and it was all like weird. But gotta get that figure. I just want more Lon Chaney. I'm like, give me all those weird variations. So yeah, cool figures. And I think that these were actually like more so in the book, I think, as well. Like they did have like a Wolfman show up and stuff, and then I think there was maybe like a Frankenstein and a Frankenstein's monster. Well, Frankenstein, who is also referred to as Frankenstein's monster, but you know. Speaking of, here's good old Frank himself, along with the bride. So we have a little scream off here between these two. It's funny to see like the contrast of how he compares to the rest. Frank especially looks great. He looks amazing. But pretty cool. And still the all white. And then we have our two dramatic creatures here. Am I missing? What the heck? Hold on. Just realized I'm missing something. Ow, I just shocked myself. What the hell? Am I missing? I am. There it is. Bruh. All right. Okay, so we have our two dramatic. Excuse me, sorry. No, don't lose that. Kind of our, okay, hold on. Who I would designate as our two kind of drama queens of our horror universal monsters, but of course have your Invisible Man, specifically at the beginning of the movie. He's trying to figure out how to come back. I got to come back. And then have the Phantom, who is Lon Chaney, Senior. I forgot I even actually had this guy. I'm stupid. This is like his most iconic role. So, apologize, Mr. Chaney. But anyways, and then that's Cloud Rains, who played Larry Talbot's father, who was the Wolfman. But yeah, cool shit. This is a great figure, very dramatic. Love this kind of look for him. This could be actually like an alternate, like a Pennywise kind of face thing. He's done like fucked up faces like this. They're cool. And then the Invisible Man. which is always a badass. One of my favorites. Probably my favorite Universal monster. Well, movie, anyways. And then our last two for classic Universal. Of course, we got Boris Karloff to end off the OGs from back in the day with The Mummy. And then have way later, I think about like a decade or two later, have the creature from the Black Lagoon, or even like just a few years later, who is humongous, I must say. I'm surprised by how big he is. I feel like he would be smaller, but, you know, this is what he is sized up as. But he is a big old fish boy. I guess I'll have to Google, but I'm just like, hold on. Even like compared to Frankenstein, I didn't even really like think about this. Is Frankenstein bigger? No, it might be the fish. Yeah, Frank's got that. Yeah, Frank has that square head, so he don't have the dome on top to add the height. So what the hell? Bro, humongous. I don't think he was that big, was he? I mean, he can like scoop a Pennywise in like a second. He looked like tuna. Like, bro. All right. And then, oh yeah, I forgot I was also going to do this. Okay. And then our second to last round of comparisons with our more still kind of classic or kind of like monsters. Okay. More so, yeah, just your classic kind of monsters, but different versions and not like your total mainstream. Other ones too, but then also still another movie one as well that I still say is a classic. Okay, first, sorry, I'm rambling. Have the Mezco Toys Nosferatu. So kind of not the Universal or whatever, the silent movie version is, but more of this kind of style for Orlok. Kind of where I have him in the big, in there with his whole wind going there, and then, oh my God, have the werewolf from London. So this is kind of a crazy pairing right here, but they look great. I love this werewolf, bro. Oh, focus. Am I balancing? Or I'm like, oh. I don't know. I don't know what area I gotta like cover up. It's like gotta like just pulled up. Oh, I also did want to do the red light as well. Forgot about that, but probably just keep it like this. No. All right, that's fine. Moving on. Oh. I instantly kick it, huh? Hold on. Oh, bird's freaking out. Bruh. There we are. Then next, the Four Horsemen Studios. Are they around? That guy. Okay. Oh. First, kind of a figure I think that is kind of seen as more relevant at this time with their Frankenstein's creature, or the creature, as they're going by the original book and the original kind of description. And then have the Four Horsemen Studios Mask of the Red Death. Which I actually love that they have like the whole red thing kind of matching there. And then Frankenstein kind of basic. He's kind of just there, kind of like how he was in the what was it, Quentin Tarantino? No, not Quentin Tarantino. Fuck that guy. Guillermo del Toro. His Frankenstein movie. Kind of those vibes, you know, because it's more closer to the thing, but it's still like more closer to the book anyways, with how he's, I think, proportion looks actually, and then actually like the skin and everything. It's loud out there. Dark out there too. Excuse me, that was probably very loud. Just looking outside because that wind is blowing. Freaking me out, bro. How do I... Ooh. Okay. And then probably one of my kind of actually like favorite comparisons, and it's just a one-on-one, but then we have a last little round. But then we got our clowns. We got Joker here, who immensely blows out the camera as well, so it doesn't really help here that these are two clowns of a different kind, but just I might as well kill that so you can actually see some detail. But in any case, it looks all right. Pretty good there. Kind of a funny matchup there. And then my final comparison, we'll just get all four of them, is gonna had some kind of turtle in here come in and help. Oh, kicks this guy's ass. We got Leonardo, Donatello, even if they're not on camera, they are acknowledged, a Raphael, and a Michelangelo. Let's get y'all front and center. Mikey over here with your movie 2 head, because I just prefer that look. We got Raph, pissed off as always. Donnie, looking good. Leo, looking badass. Leo's probably my favorite one of these 4 movie ones, personally, even though Donnie is my favorite turtle overall. But, you know, they look great. If you got some turtles that gotta kick some clown ass, I think that these are the guys. And kind of have to get a reason to get a turtle in there somewhere because I don't have any other turtle figures. And these kind of match with this aesthetic in this world, so. But yeah. Get all these out of here. Maybe I'll leave one turtle. I'll leave Leo. Or maybe I'll do Raph because Raph has the red. He'll be kind of in the back for the time being until he's needed. What do I want to do? We're going to get the werewolf in there. I think he actually has to take up all that room, so Raph is going to have to move for now. We're going to get our little setup going. I don't think we're going to be able to get everything in here, but I'm going to get what I feel is important in here. Get McCready in there. We're going to take down all of our monsters as he should. Yeah, get McCready over here. I mean, that actually isn't too bad there. That's not too bad, but then we'll get Sam in there. Jason there. Then we'll do... don't want to do that. We can do... Okay, we'll get Joker in there for fun. So it's Raph and Joker in there for fun. Because I like that. And I do kind of want to get some universal monsters in here. I think that is a goal. Trying to see where I want to start this. Because it's a very interesting lineup. So I'm trying to think of what I want to add. I do want to have a couple of kids. I think that's pretty standard. So if I do the girl, figure here. Oh, could do the boy and then the werewolf at the end. Oh yeah, but I do actually want them more. Looking at the camera. All right. Next, we'll put in Wolfman there. Because he is mentioned in the thing. Don't do it. Don't knock him over. Not nice. All right. Get Frankenstein in here. I feel like that's always like a necessary. Dracula, I don't think so. He just doesn't really vibe with Pennywise for me that much. Even though like he does like eat a baby, I think, in the books. Or no. It's more like it's like the one chick who gets like turned into a vampire and like steal the baby and like drink the blood or something. It's all like hooked up. It's horror, you know? It's how it's going. Get them actually more spread out. A little bit better as a lineup. Then I'll bring in like Nosferatu for over here, I guess. You don't even really see him at all, so doesn't matter that much. Again, Masculine Red Death. He wants to try to make an appearance. I prefer to see him. At least up to there. If he wants to stand, if anything wants to stand on this table. There we go. He's in there. And then who can I get behind McCready? Makes sense. I could get the Frankenstein over here. He's actually pretty good there. Who else can I get? I don't know. I'll just throw Joker and Leo in there. Put Joker in the middle of this for no reason. Even though he's not really going to be seen at all. Here, I'll put Raph. In that window. All right. Then I'll just throw Nosferatu in the back here. Take up all his room that his cloak needs. Because I'm like making shit complicated. And then what can I do? Put the cop and the kid in the very back where you just can't see them, but they're there. To acknowledge that this guy still eats kids. Cops don't do anything about it. And the adults. And the army. And the government. They're like, oh, Pennywise? Ah. It'll be fine. Just leave him there. We were going to try to use him as a weapon against the Russians. But that didn't work out. Because he basically killed everyone. And then everyone basically forgot. Because this town doesn't go into its history. Because it's controlled by freaking Pennywise. Not 24/7, but for a long freaking time. For like decades. And we're literally seeing that going on in the show. So it's really cool. So it's awesome to finally have a Pennywise. In general, having specifically this whole Blood Pennywise, this specific version. It's just so cool. It's nice that it comes with, you know, our alternate set of hands and heads. With your standard kind of looks that Pennywise always does, even in this look, and with the balloon and all of our extra hands. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really a nice figure. Would have loved an extra kind of like the all kind of teeth, like the deadlights or whatever they're called. So those are really cool. So would have loved to seen that as a part of this package, but you know what? It works fine. So I shall see y'all. Actually, hold on before I sign off. Joker can actually we'll do Raph. Hold on before I sign off. Sorry, my ADHD I think is kicking in, but there's Raph. Just to go in at the end, and then also add in Joker. All right, but there we go. But hope y'all have enjoyed the stream. This is an awesome figure. And sorry for the technical issue. Literally, Storm blew out the power for a minute. So, but yeah, but be sure, like this video, comment what you want to see here on the channel. Be sure to subscribe. It really helps. I appreciate the support that these videos and the shorts get. I definitely got to do more videos soon, but we'll see down the line. It's just whenever I'm vibing with it, because this is my channel. do what I can, do what I want to do, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. So thank y'all. Anything else? Check out the Instagram, because definitely going to be doing a shoot with this guy very soon, because got a deadline for a photo challenge got to do, and the theme is going to work perfectly for this guy. So it's going to be fun. So check out the Instagram, same as the name here. So that's in the description, and then also just there on the channel or any other video. So be sure to check it out. Alrighty, well, I shall see y'all next Friday. Thank y'all. Have a good one. Be cool. Do good. Goodbye.